Hi, Madeleine Innocent here. Congestive heart failure in cats is on the rise. Only a few short decades ago it was rare, even unheard of. But today, as cats' health declines, more and more rare and unusual diseases are becoming common. Most people assume that with the widespread vaccination programs, all the choices in commercial cat food, as well as the billions spent on veterinary research, that cats' health is at an all-time high. Sadly, the reverse is true. How can you tell? Cats don't live as long as they used to, barring accidents. 10 is now considered to be elderly, whereas it was not uncommon for domestic cats to live for 30 healthy years. When you talk to the veterinarians who were trained and worked in the 1960s and 70s, you realise that it wasn't because people didn't care as much. The diseases just weren't there. To realistically look at health and all that contributes to good health as well as bad health, you need to consider the epigenetic approach. This considers the environment as the key to turning health on and off. Not genetics. Genetics do play a part, but it's a very small part compared with the environmental factors. Aspects of the environment as the determining factor includes diet, toxins, stress, and the genetic factor merely acts as the expression of the poor health. So let's examine these and their effects, because there are aspects that you may not have considered but are worthy of your consideration. Invariably, the diet is a typical commercial cat food diet that is made by an unregulated industry which contains cheap rather than nutritious ingredients, as well as highly toxic chemicals that masquerade as vitamins, minerals and antioxidants. And don't forget the preservatives, although these are not usually mentioned. No one will fare well on this for long. The veterinary drugs that are used in abundance, including vaccines, are not medicines. They are toxic chemicals which suppress symptoms. This never cures any condition. So you have cats being fed non-nutritious food on a daily basis, plus a plethora of toxins entering their body on a regular basis. These are two very influential areas that affect your cat's health even before we look at their home environment or the common emotional stresses our domestic animals take on from their human families. So how does all this affect congestive heart failure in cats, you may ask? This is simply the expression of your cat's genetics following usually years of non-nutritious food, the ever-increasing toxic load, plus the stresses and the traumas cats suffer with by living with us. But change is not necessarily easy, especially when we have been told to do things this way. Discover the steps to the natural approach to restore vibrant health to your cat by checking out naturalcathealth.com/vibrancy.